I would love to be able to tell you that throughout this video you're not going to be hearing the landscaping that is happening outside, but they keep doing it. I can't even wait for them to be done. This is the third day in a row they've been doing this. There's not that much outside. I don't know what they're doing. So yeah. That's it. That's my intro. Hi, I'm Amanda, you're watching Swell Entertainment, and we are talking about Followed today. Amanda, how could a movie have possibly one quarantine with a bunch of theaters being shut down and all of these major releases being pushed? Exactly. That is how it won quarantine. Followed is a vlog-style found footage horror movie, okay? And it was released during the pandemic in June. Now, the movie was only shown in about 44 theaters, and I'm not sure if that is counting drive-ins, but apparently the production side of things said that it had a lot of success at drive-ins. But because of the limited number of movies that were available at that time, even though it was in a very small number of theaters, the movie ended up grossing over $500,000. I know you're thinking, Amanda, that's not even $1 million. How is that winning the pandemic? Well, because all of the big budget movies were pushed, it became one of the top 10 movies in America for I think like a couple weeks in a row. Considering it was a low budget movie, or at least that's just my understanding. I can't find any definitive numbers about the budget anywhere, but from my understanding it was a pretty small budget movie. And honestly, they probably brought in at least equal or more money than what they would have been able to bring in without the pandemic, considering when this was originally supposed to be released in April. I had heard nothing about the movie leading up to it, going into it, and I follow a bunch of horror stuff, so like any horror movie ads usually get pushed to me. I had heard nothing about this movie whatsoever, so honestly, I think the pandemic only worked in this movie's favor. Honestly, the only reason I knew about Followed prior to its release and its subsequent pandemic success, you could call it, is because it stars Sam Valentine, who runs the One Broke Actress podcast that I like. A lot of you know I'm pursuing a career in acting, which is how I was able to find the One Broke Actress podcast. I am not affiliated with the podcast or with Sam at all. I just like the podcast. But she did an episode at the start of the pandemic interviewing her co-star Matthew Solomon, talking about the film. And so from that, I am able to gather that this movie was actually made sometime in 2017. It actually premiered at a couple festivals in 2018, and at the Burbank International Film Festival, it won Best Horror and Thriller Feature Film, and both Sam and Matthew were nominated for Best Actor and Best Actress. But when they recorded this podcast, it was the start of the pandemic, but it was before a lot of stuff started getting like more locked down. So in the podcast, they spent a little bit of time talking about what they were expecting of the release or what they had been told about the release. They were told that I believe it was going to be released in 400 theaters across the US and major markets. And they were just very excited about that, just the prospect of being in theaters to begin with. So again, this was not meant to be a big, super big movie. They were just like, okay, we just want people to go see it. I don't think I need to break down the details of the pandemic's inner workings to you. You lived it. I think you got it. Lockdowns got more restrictive, more movie theaters closed. And so their movie actually got pushed. So there were a few theaters that were open, but predominantly it was drive-ins. So again, Followed ended up being released in 44 US theaters. Did really well in drive-ins according to production. They ended up getting international distribution. And because of that, the movie ended up grossing, again, over $500,000. Again, I know $500,000 doesn't sound like a ton of money with how the media paints like the film industry currently, but that's not a bad number for a small budget film, or a perceived small budget film under my perception, because I can't find the budget numbers anywhere. I had heard good things about the movie, but I had also seen a lot of bad reviews for the movie, so I wanted to watch it and form my own opinions. And I think I understand why there is a lot of mixed reviews about it, but let me read you the synopsis first. So on Prime Video, it's got 3.5 stars out of 5. A social media influencer receives a lucrative offer to grow his channel and gathers a crew to visit a haunted hotel. What began as a fun investigation turns into a personal hell of evil, begging the question, how far would you go for fame? So before I get into what I do and don't like about this movie, let me just say, I did enjoy this movie. Is it a great movie? No. Would I watch it again? Yes. But I think it's a fun movie, but it really comes down to how you watch it. And I know that sounds dumb, but let me explain. Because so much of this movie has a lot of really ambitious things that it wants to do, but it doesn't fully get to the message that it's trying to get across. And I'm saying that as a cusp Gen Z millennial person that is getting the reference, that is getting the vlogging experience, that is getting all of that. I literally work as a YouTuber, okay? Certain things that I saw people complaining about in other reviews makes sense to me because I'm very familiar with this style of filming and this style of content and this style of production from a YouTube standpoint. This movie has a lot of things that I think work really well, but I think they're executed poorly. So the messages that they are trying to convey just don't fully get there, or they kind of go back on what they're saying. And so it kind of just gets a little jumbled and a little lackluster. Does that make sense? As far as a horror movie goes, it's not terrifying. Do quite a few jump scares, I would say, but so many of them, they do the opposite of what a lot of horror movies do with jump scares, where they just kind of cut all audio. And so you're immediately put on edge because you don't hear anything, because you're preparing yourself for something, because you're waiting for the sound to come back, and then that's usually how they jump scare you. In this movie, they usually preface the jump scares with an audio-video glitch. The movie is set in downtown LA at the Hotel Lenox that has a very haunted history and a very dark history, okay? The main reason in the story leading to them going to the Hotel Lenox of the most recent death and disappearance at the Hotel Lenox, very clearly based on Elisa Lam and her death at the Cecil Hotel back in 2013. They do their own version of the elevator footage. It's a lot. I'm gonna start talking about the plot of the movie because then I can talk about some of my issues with how they executed things and why I believe some of the reviews talk about certain things that they do. It'll be more understandable for you to follow if I tell you the plot first. Our lead character is Mike, or Drop the Mike. He is a horror influencer, a horror paranormal vlogger. The way this character is written, and I guess they did a lot of improvisation. The actors were encouraged to do a lot of improvising with their roles, which I think worked actually really well for the acting perspective. But for Mike, oh my god, it freaked me out. Shot in 2017, okay, and then again released in 2018. I saw a lot of people comparing Mike's YouTube performance, his persona, okay, his vlogging persona, as a Logan Paul style of vlogging. No, this is Shane Dawson through and through, to the point that it freaked me out. Mike's persona in this is so reminiscent of Shane in not only his more recent documentary style vlogs, but particularly when they were filming this movie is when that Shane was doing his series with Garrett and Drew, with all like the haunted stuff and that. I personally don't have a problem with the found footage genre. I know a lot of people are like, okay, it's enough, we get it, it's cheap, be done. I don't care, personally. I think it's fine. I think it's just a more accessible way of filmmaking, and I think it's fine. But I think something that a lot of found footage movies struggle with is the justification of why they're still filming. Once all the bad shit starts happening, once all the paranormal ghost shit starts happening, why are you still holding the camera? And this movie justifies that quite well. And as I said in the synopsis, they're trying to make it as a commentary of like, how far will you go to get famous? And it doesn't work here fully because of what they end up doing in the movie. But let me explain the first bit of why they are filming at this hotel. Basically, he is getting a brand deal where they will give him $250,000 if he gets 50,000 new subscribers by Halloween. YouTubers, which of you fuckers are getting $250K for a fucking brand deal? I just want to know. If you're wondering if that's accurate, brand deals don't work like that. I did have a very brief partnered contract with a live streaming service that said that every time I went live, I had to sign up a certain number of new users for them, and I would get paid based on that. I no longer have that contract, and that is not standard, especially for YouTube. A certain view amount, like, oh, you need to have 80K views or something like that, is more standard. Unless this guy already has a couple million subscribers, I can't justify the $250K payout. And even then, if he does have like 20 million, I can't justify the $250K payout, especially with how little he says the brand's names. Like, it's just like sponsored by this. Like, unless you're saying it and doing an ad read, it would have been really funny, honestly, if this movie had just done a total 180 and it's like in the middle of the horror, he's like, oh fuck, I forgot. And then they start doing a brand deal and he's trying on stuff from the Hot Topic wannabe shop. That would be hilarious. At the start of the movie, we were actually given this frame by our spooky admin, which I will talk about in a little bit. This 800+K is post doing the events of the movie, post the investigation, which means that's including the close to 50K, if not more, and then after he went missing, which means that there's going to be an influx to that channel anyway. So I'm calling bullshit. There's no way this brand deal ever would have happened. So Mike decides that the best way to get the 50,000 new subscribers for this brand deal to get the 250K is that he and his team are going to go spend several days at the Hotel Lenox where a recent disappearance and death was of Megan Kim. His cameraman, Christopher, is like, nope, I'm not going. I don't trust it. Ghosts are real. And Mike's like, ghosts aren't real. Because despite all of his following being based on this and him being in your face about everything, he doesn't actually believe in ghosts. The way that Mike gets Christopher to go with them is that they get their friend Danny to be another camera operator with them, and Christopher likes Danny because they used to date or something, I don't know. But also coming with them and staying in a separate room because she's their editor is Nick. They go to the hotel, a couple creepy things happen. As far as, again, the scares go, I kind of like the concept of the ghost just being glitchy, especially since we're watching it through a camera screen. It makes sense that we can't fully see it. I feel like there would just be a better way to make it a little scarier because it's just kind of like, what am I looking at? Basically, Mike, Danny, and Christopher are staying in what's believed to be the most haunted room because a serial killer stayed in that room and carved up bodies in that room when he was living there. So they're vlogging everything and filming everything, but they're also setting up tripod cameras here and there. They go down to the boiler room and the door is locked, so they try to wedge their drone in and fly the drone in and out. And then as the drone is down there, something whacks it out of the way and the drone gets stuck. Security guard comes down. Surprise, security guard is a fan of the vlog. But the security guard is like, yeah, I can get you the key eventually. But he keeps like putting off getting them the key, so it's not until the final night when they get the key. But Mike asks the security guard about Miranda Kim.
You guys know about the elevator ritual, right? Look up the elevator ritual online, then rewatch the Megan Kim elevator footage. It'll get you closer to the truth.
If you were on YouTube in 2015, okay, or 2016, when all of those creepy horror games were popular and all those like 3 a.m. bloggers were doing those games, you've seen the elevator game probably. They rewatched the elevator footage of Megan Kim before she disappeared and passed away, and they see that she is doing the numbers, and Mike realizes that she is doing the numbers that the game requests, but backwards. So she was trying to undo what she had done, that he believes. So again, Mike doesn't believe in any of this stuff, but he wants the footage. So he's gonna go by himself and go play the elevator game. And he does. And they see someone get into the elevator with him. Christopher believes that it's Megan Kim's ghost. Danny could go either way. And Mike, again, doesn't believe. He's scared, but he doesn't believe in ghosts. So he thinks that one of his subscribers got a look-alike and dressed up like Megan Kim to scare him. Something with this movie that I think people complained about, but I think could have been utilized better, is that the entire time you're watching this movie, we know that someone who we assume is not Mike, Christopher, or Danny is uploading this footage. The movie started with that person logging into their account and then watching the video and then moving forward, uploading another, watching another one, clicking the next one, like all this stuff. I think it would have been better if they just kind of introduced the editing element of it all much more, you know, like if they just kind of cut it like, no, cut that part, skip ahead. And then that way the jumping between scares that the movie kind of felt like it was doing would be more justified. Honestly, I think it would have flowed better, but also been more realistic, because so many of the paranormal vloggers of YouTube today know that you only care about the horror shit, so they cut out all the filler. So it would be better if this person who was watching or editing this footage was shown cutting through and speeding through all of the filler bits, and then the jumping between the horror bits would feel a little more natural, like it was supposed to be, like it was intentional versus just like, we don't know what to do next. They would show Mike getting messages asking where he was, why he was missing, why he wasn't answering his phone. He gets a video call at one point from someone asking, hey man, where'd you go?
Mike, man, I am so sorry about everything
that
happened.
Everything about you.
Have you been in contact with Chris or Danny?
We're led to believe at that point that Danny and Christopher are now missing or something happened to them. The next major thing that happens is that a little boy that was outside when they were driving up to the hotel is now inside. And so Mike goes to follow the little boy. The little boy brings him downstairs to room like 404. And he's about to enter into room 404, but instead he opens the door and ends up in his room with Danny and Christopher. Meanwhile, while they were in the hallway after having a heart-to-heart, the lights cut out and they see someone in the hallway, and it's the ghost of the serial killer with the hacksaw chasing after them. So they are desperately trying to get back into their room and trying to block the door from him coming in because, again, he's got a fucking saw. But it's Mike who comes in, and so Mike is yelling at them because he doesn't understand why he's not there because the little boy was leading him somewhere. They're freaking out because you didn't see the person with the hacksaw, which a good scene, but I think it could have been executed better. Also, while all this is going on, Mike is kind of doing little video calls with his fiance. His fiance is not online whatsoever, but his fiance is a nurse. She had done a blood test and found out she was pregnant. So while he is there, he finds out that he is going to be a father. So keep that in mind. Christopher at one point goes to the bathroom, and while he is in the bathroom, Mike is on a call with the owner of the hotel that he is friends with. They have formed a relationship outside of the hotel because of his YouTube stuff, okay? And he is asking about what happened in room 404. So that is how we find out that a detective was staying in that room to investigate someone who had killed his wife in that room or killed the family or something. He then left the hotel after staying there for a couple of days, went home, killed his wife and gouged her eyes out, and then brought his kids to that hotel room, killed one of the kids, and then the other kid went downstairs and was saved by the janitor that was down there, and ended up killing the cop in the hotel, in the boiler room, before the other kid could get killed. Hotel owner is like, I can't believe you don't know that story. That's like a Hotel Lennox classic.
Like, you okay?
Yeah, stuff like that shouldn't happen to kids.
And they hear yelling, so they go inside the room. Christopher has been attacked by a cat in the bathroom. He wants to leave, so he leaves. Danny follows him out. They have a full-on argument. Mike is filming the whole time. When Danny sees it after Christopher storms out, she's pissed. And I get why they're trying to be like, oh, he's doing it for the fame, anything for the vlog. But it doesn't fit anymore because they introduced the pregnant fiance element. Go back up to the room. Danny's like, I'm leaving. Like, let's just go. Christopher's right. Like, this is done. This is too much. We need to go. You saw something attacked Chris. We need to go. And so that is when Mike tells her that he was adopted and all this stuff, and he's just trying to make everything work because his fiance is the main breadwinner of the house. Like, they are living off of her income. He has to get this brand deal because he doesn't make a lot of money from ad revenue, which is honestly realistic for his style of content. But he explains to her that now that he's going to be a father, he has to get this brand deal. So again, he tells Danny he has to finish this job. He can't leave the hotel because he has to get this brand deal because now he's going to be a father, okay? Remember that. They're trying to get a hold of Chris, but they're not. The entire time they're eating, someone in a devil mask is waiting outside watching them, okay? And then at a certain point, they go outside and they see a woman has committed suicide outside, okay? And this was actually one of the old women that Mike had met with the security guard that was staying in room 404, okay? So again, it's this whole thing of like, the hotel kind of rots you from within type of thing. And Danny's like, we need to go because she sees the devil mask guy again. They start being chased through the hotel by the devil mask. And as they're being chased, they're running into other guests that are clearly human and other guests that are clearly dead, okay? And again, I think this could have been a great scene, but it doesn't fit, especially the reveal. It's too quick because at the start of the movie, when they first get the hotel, they're showing like, oh, this is where the serial killer disposed of his chopped up bodies. And Danny films a guy doing a drug deal and the drug dealer sees her filming, okay? So that's why this devil guy is following them. It's not because of the hotel, it's because they filmed a drug deal.
Holy shit, was it the guy from the alley, the drug dealer?
I know this was added in to fill up the running time, but considering how much you just kept adding to the hotel, I don't understand why adding the additional thing of like, here's a human drug dealer who's trying to chase them, because he's not a paranormal person, he's just a drug dealer. He's just, that's it. But Christopher comes back and tackles the guy. Danny is sobbing into Christopher. They go to leave. Okay, so Christopher and Danny leave the hotel. Mike is alone. The entire time, Nick is in her room. They went and checked on her at one point. She's having a very visceral reaction to editing. Her nose is bleeding. She's crying. Mike had gone in to check on her and was like, hey, go to sleep. Okay, leave the vlog alone. It'll be fine. Just get some sleep. And so he goes in to check on her to let her know, like, hey, they left. And she's about to jump out the fucking window. So he pulls her back in. She's totally gone. She's just sobbing. She's not explaining anything. He calls her mother and sister, I believe, and they come pick her up. So we know that Nick is with them at least, okay? But she is clearly distraught. She's still not talking. She's just sobbing. So again, Mike won't leave. He finally gets the key to the boiler room from the security guard. Before he's going to go in there, he gets another Skype call from his fiance. She is crying. She has had a dream that he is in danger and he needs to come home. He tells her no and hangs up on her. And he decides to go to the boiler room. And the entire time he's in the boiler room, perusing his way around, okay, he is live streaming everything. He just keeps saying, 350 more subscribers. That's all I need. 352 more subscribers. That's all we need. just 352 more subscribers the entire time he is live streaming everything, okay? So he's somehow been able to get this 50K subscribers in this few days with the vlogs that they have already uploaded. As he was going down into the boiler room though, he got a call from the owner of the hotel. He's like, hey, I did more research on that family. And as it's cutting out, you just hear the little boy was you. The reveal is that the little boy that survived his father killing his mother and sibling, okay, was Mike. Mike was the surviving boy, okay? So certain things that had happened throughout the film that I thought were just like little like, why are you throwing it in there? End up fitting now. Like he kept having little things where he's like, whoa, deja vu moment, like as he's about to walk in and he doesn't think anything of it.
Whoa. Weird deja vu moment again. You guys didn't get that?
Because he's been there before. Down in the boiler room, he finds a computer that is watching his live stream, okay? So something or someone is watching his live stream, and so he knows that someone is out there, and in the reflection, he can see someone behind him. So he turns around, nothing's there. He chases down, he picks up a pipe at one point and just throws it.
Shit.
Keep it in your hands, dude. He sees a dead body down there. He's running all over the place, gets tackled by all these mannequins down there at one point. So he flees, and the end of that footage is just him sprinting out of the hotel through downtown LA, okay? Past all of these people, and then it just cuts to black. So with the ending that we were given, I know that his fiance is dead, but I don't know if Danny and Christopher are dead. I think they are, but I'm not sure. Basically, Mike does the clickbait goodbye for now video where he's like, sorry, I've made people worry. The police questioned me about the body in the basement. I'm gonna take some time to combine some footage. I'm gonna film something about the homeless down in LA. Felt really awkward shoved in there. I don't get why they added it. But as he's filming that, I'm not really sure where he's at, but something enters into the space. The ghosts from the hotel kind of follow him, and then he's backed into a corner, and they show the decapitated head of his fiance, and he catches the decapitated head of his fiance, and that's where everything goes dark. Cut to a scene of a younger vlogger.
Yo, bitches! Terrible Tyler here. I'm stoked to find Drop the Mic's actual crib, where his fiance was decapitated.
Once that video was done, there was a comment added from our admin that has been using the computer this whole time, posting a comment that says something like, can't wait to meet you, with a smiley face. And the comment is posted by Drop the Mic official's account. It then cuts back to a footage for the FaceTime, and it shows a demonic looking Mike, showing that he is now possessed, probably from one of the spirits from the Lenox Hotel. I like a lot of what this movie did, but so much of what they did just kind of cancels itself out. Saw a lot of people complaining about the style of vlogging for the found footage style. If you are familiar with the style of vlogging at this time, okay, and even currently, it totally fits. The way that Mike is acting, he's annoying as fuck, but that is what was popular at the time, okay? He is the very in-your-face, making cracks off the cuff. Okay, hey, I have a severed head, guys. Okay, like it fits for the time frame. If you watch this movie and you look at the vlogging element, okay, and you don't look at it as a commentary on clout-chasing YouTubers who use this as a way to get famous, and you instead just look at it as a medium in which the story is being told and shown to you, it's a much better movie. Because they don't do much with the whole chasing fame is bad. What would you go to chase fame? Yes, at the start, that's what it seems like. But again, from what we see and from how the security guard acts and all of that, he is already an established YouTuber, okay? He already has an audience. The clout chasing element of him desiring more followers and a bigger audience is contingent entirely because of the brand deal. He only wants that because of the brand deal, and that's how he paints it in the movie. That's how the movie paints it. So the whole like, how far would you go for fame does not fit here. Clout and fame really are not the goal here for Mike. The money is. And the money is, again, not even because he wants to be famous. He doesn't want to be able to say like, oh, I've gotten this Hot Topic knockoff as a brand deal. It's like he's not talking about like, this is going to be huge for my channel. This is going to be so big future down the line for other brand deals. He doesn't talk about that. No, what he's talking about is the money. He needs the money. He needs the $250K. And we find out that his fiance is the breadwinner of their relationship. So originally it's just, she is the breadwinner of the family. That is why he wants to do this. Because they introduced the pregnancy element, now it's, I have to do this because I have to provide for my family. It is no longer, I don't want to be a burden in this relationship. I don't want her to leave me. I can't lose her. It is now, I need to be a good father for this baby type of thing, okay? So again, very similar elements, but again, neither of those have to do with fame. If you take that out of your mind, it plays as a much better movie because you see him, again, have this whole persona when he's on camera, and throughout the movie, he loses that, and it becomes less, oh, you're a pussy if you leave, and becomes more, we can't leave, I can't lose this money, okay? You see that transition in Mike. So the fame element, again, yoink, it doesn't work, okay? Take it out. And the pursuit of fame thing doesn't work with the reveal of Mike being the detective's son, okay? The survivor of this massacre at the Hotel Lenox, okay? It doesn't work, okay? Because with the deja vu moments, him forging a relationship with the owner of the Lenox, okay? Him knowing all this stuff about the Lenox doesn't fit with the pursuit of fame, but it fits more with him feeling drawn to the hotel because of his childhood that he claims he doesn't remember. The fame element could have been played with more if it was played out more as he feels like he has to stay at the hotel. He has to figure out what's going on at the hotel. He has to keep filming at the hotel because he feels drawn to the hotel. But he doesn't want to admit that he feels drawn to the hotel or that he feels drawn to find out what happened in his childhood because we are shown that he is uncomfortable talking about that. Okay, so instead he's using the excuse of like, I just want to be famous, or I just, I need to grow my subscriber base, but they don't do that, okay? So it just kind of seems a little disjointed. Like I said, there's a lot of elements in this that could be good, but they're not fleshed out properly. Also, just a nitpick, because why not? The elevator game could have absolutely been utilized better. Instead, they just kind of abandoned the concept, okay? Because they watch the footage, okay, of the missing woman, okay, or the deceased woman, and they decide that they do the elevator game and all of that. But considering the reason that they watch the footage again and Mike does the elevator game is because he realizes she's doing the numbers backwards, okay? She was trying to undo doing the game. Considering that is a whole point in the movie, and then Mike does the game, they never go back to the game. He never goes to try and undo anything. They never even be like, okay, there's weird stuff happening. Let's just go and undo it. Mike could have been to Christopher and been like, okay, I get it. This is clearly because we did the elevator game. I'll just go and undo the elevator game. And then they go, and then he's experiencing more ghost shit in the concept of trying to undo the elevator game, okay? But instead, they just don't do the elevator game again, and it's not discussed again, okay? So it just felt like a abandoned plot device. What they could have done instead of the chase scene with the devil guy, or even the devil guy encouraging this and basically facilitating him and Danny playing the elevator game again, okay? Because there is a scene where they're going up and down in the elevator, they're running up and down in the stairs. They could have been playing an entire time. If you wanted to do the devil thing, you could have introduced it in a way where they're doing like a disjointed version of the elevator game that is making things worse without them fully realizing it, okay? And I think that would have been a better use of the devil guy than instead of just like, oh, look at all these ghosts that we've stuck around everywhere. Like, I feel like that would have been a better use of that. I'm really bad at talking about things that I like. I don't hate the movie. And I know that seems like I just spent this whole video nitpicking. It's because I'm an asshole. And I can't just enjoy things, apparently. I do think the movie is worth watching. If you have Amazon Prime, it is free on Prime Video if you want to go check it out. I liked it well enough. I just think they could have done way more with any of the concepts that they had in this movie. But that's gonna be it for this video. What is a low budget horror movie that you liked? What is a movie that released this year in spite of the pandemic that you liked? What do you think about the HBO Max Warner Brothers deal? Let me know, comment down below. Shout out to my patrons, thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd also like to support me on Patreon, that'll be listed down below. If you'd like to follow me on all my social media, that'll be all up here. And that's gonna be it. Have a lovely day, goodbye. Oh, I talked about the jump scares with the audio-visual glitches. They also have jump scares because Mike's ringtone for text messages is a scream. Oh god, we get it. You're edgy. Okay. Thank you. Elaine, Alan, Elise, Braden, Cameron, Christopher, Krish, Cody, Colton, Crash PC, Devin, Dirty One, Don, Elliot, Aaron, Essen, Evan, Feckless, Finnegan, Hopeless, Hollow, Jason, Joe, John M, Jordan, Joseph, Kenny, Kevin, Kim, Kristen, Lex, Lisa, Luis, Manga, Matt, Matthew S, Meme Lauren Red, Michael, Michael J, Nathaniel, Pat, Pralak, Rob, Robert Ross, Sam, Simon, Stephen, Tasha, Timothy, Tom, Tyrone, Wayne, Wendy, Williams, Endry.